Hey, welcome back again. It's Tuesday, February 28th. The year is 2017. We were in this discussion in the last video about a young man at the gym who is autistic. Now, yeah, I don't know if I'm saying these words correct because I know we have some politically correct where I don't want to offend anybody. But the man is probably in his 20-something, 24, 25. He gets dropped off. I see him come to the gym getting dropped off by
one of those metro buses,
for handicap type stuff. I've seen him come in the gym. Mm-hmm. We've met a couple times. He knows my name. There's something, he's probably autistic.
Yeah, he's missing a French fry out of his Happy Meal.
But he was attacked by one of the members of the gym in the locker room. The boy was in tears. He was upset. And this was another black guy that attacked him. And so I had to get involved in this situation, let him know, look, don't mess with this kid because he's here, he's exercising. We're all in the gym to exercise and have a good time.
Right.
Why are you attacking him, calling him a faggot and all this type of stuff? What is the purpose of this? And it offended me because this was another black guy attacking this black boy who ain't done shit to his ass.
He ain't done shit to him. But see, that's the whole thing to me. That's where I feel some of our problems within our race exist. We're so busy trying to attack one another.
But we blame the white folks for everything.
Right. But we still attack one another too. And just like this guy was honest to me. If I'd have been honest, I said, you're the one that's stupid. Yeah, okay. You're the one that's handicapped. Because if you can't identify someone who has DNA wrong with them or shortcomings in them, and you pick on them and belittle them and dog them and make this boy cry, trust me, I'd have been right up in his face. I'm a woman, but if he'd have been as big as you, I'd have been right up in his face. Because I don't like people to do. I've never liked bullies. All my life growing up, I've had light-skinned black people and dark-skinned black people. You know how we do. And the light-skinned black people are always picking on the dark-skinned people. Why? Why do we do that? Again, it goes back to the plantation days, how we were put against each other. But still, we should have outgrown this by now. But one reason why we won't outgrow it is because we won't read. We won't understand. We won't read. And we're too busy trying to get all these material things instead of understanding what we're put here for. We were put here to love one another and to further each other and prosper. We weren't put here to dog each other out.
Black on black crime.
Black on black crime is a reality.
Some people say it don't exist.
It's a damn reality. Think about Chirac, Chicago. What is it? The Bloods, the Crips, all these kind of people fighting against each other, groups and things. People join groups because one, I feel, they join these groups because they don't have the right kind of balance or the right kind of love in their home. They don't feel accepted and appreciated in their homes. So they seek appreciation outside of their home.
Will black people ever truly learn how to love one another?
At some point,
you see a guy in the gym, you could tell that something's wrong with him. He's looking at you maybe funny, but you but you decide to attack him, call him faggot and all this other stuff, but you don't even know.
And that's because that person that attacked him was uneducated and stupid himself. For whatever reason, he has the need to feel like he's in control or on top of people. He probably has had someone along the line say something about him, and he took the opportunity to talk to someone lesser than him to get back whatever sense of dignity that he may have lost dealing with somebody else. But that's the wrong kind of person. That's the wrong kind of thing to do. You don't talk. I mean, that's like I said about the 45, talking about the darn handicapped reporter that he talked to. How would you do that kind of stuff? I can't stand people that do that. I don't care if they're fat, if they're handicapped, if they're ugly, if their hair is what. Don't leave people alone and stop judging people. You don't want people judging you. Why are you constantly out there bugging people and judging people and talking about? Well, stop that shit.
There's a divide in the black community.
There's a big divide in the black community, and it's sad. It doesn't have to be. We just have to open our eyes and see each other and love one another. You got to try to learn to do that. I have people, when you say you should love this person, well, he don't like me. Well, how you know? Because you ain't heard shit. You just heard what somebody else told you heard. Did you hear it for yourself?
Do you think that this whole I'm big and I'm bad black gangster image promotes this hate in our community? Is that what the issue is?
Well, I think a lot, people, they do emulate the rappers, the gangster rappers that talk all this madness. They do emulate that. That's part of the reason. We're so busy looking up to the wrong people. We're emulating the wrong people. These people that you guys are looking up to and emulating, whether it be rock stars, actors, athletes, or whatever, these people are making their money off of you looking up to them and emulating them. And half of them don't even care. Now, a lot of them do give back. I understand that, and I'm very glad. And one day, I want to give back too. But we're putting our priorities and we're putting our faith and belief in the wrong people.
I have a question though. We have so many like this autistic young man who's black in our community. Who's going to protect these people?
You know,
there's a lot of them out there.
Oh, there's a lot of them out there, and you would hope that those a lot of those kids too. You know, they have tutors or they have their
But they're growing up. This boy's in his 20s.
Yeah, maybe, but you know, but you know, I'm sure they felt like he's at least farther along in his knowledge of how to get along in society that they could allow him to go out on his own, not thinking that adult people would chastise him or ridicule or attack him because we're all grown people. But you still have grown people that haven't learned anything and they still act like children. You still have grown people that think, you know, as many women as they can lay, it makes them a man. As many children as they can have, it makes them a father. There's a big difference between being somebody's dad and being somebody's father. You know, there's women out here who, God forbid, have tons and tons of children and never worked a day in their life and they're depending on that check. You know, I mean, we have to learn to grow up and be better not only towards ourselves, towards our children, towards our fellow man. We have to learn to do that. When we do that and we respect each other and love each other like we are meant to, maybe things will change. But we still have to learn to respect each other. That goes back
to my question about the plight of black Americans and how we control our own destiny.
Yeah.
Because our communities are dangerous now. Because I keep reading these stories where people say, well, you know, the white folks dropping off guns and drugs in communities in Chicago. All right. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think that the United States government is dropping off guns and drugs in this community. And if they were dropping off guns and drugs in the community, we that stupid to grab these guns and drugs and use them?
Yeah, well, you know, it's what was the name of that movie? I guess it wasn't a Spike Lee movie that talked about in the black community on every corner there's a liquor store and there's a gun store. And who puts those there? The business owners are basically whites and Arabs and all this kind of stuff. And we patronize these businesses. And it's in demand because we patronize these businesses and we use these things. We need to get out of that and ask for different things and support different things in our community. We need to start. The first way to start is to start in the home. Yeah. And I think so often what the problem is, a lot of kids are being born out of wedlock. The mother, which is usually the caregiver and the provider for these children, has to work 2 and 3 jobs. They don't have time. They're too tired to really educate and spend time with these kids. And we need to start doing that. You know, I love it because I don't have children myself, but whether it be my church family or friends' kids, I really try to help mentor these kids, because if they don't get it from you, someone who's lived a life longer than them and has these experiences where, so they're going to get it. They're going to get it off the television. They're going to get it off these songs. They're going to get it off watching the movies that are violent and talk about hurting and killing and gang wars and all this kind of stuff. All these things influence our children's minds, and we need to start from the time that they're children until they grow up to teach them a better way of doing things, how things go, how things can go, what's right, what's wrong, and it starts in the home. And so often now in the last few days, last few years, when the younger people are giving birth to children and kids, and they're not doing anything. They're just simply feeding them, sending them to school, and putting them to bed. They don't interact with their kids. They don't understand. You know, we used to be back in the day when you had dinner in the family, you was at the dinner table. We don't have family dinner table. You order pizza and everybody grabs a piece and go back and watch TV. We don't do that. We need to get together and started within our families.
Are black folks so lost at this point that you can't repair this issue?
No, I don't think that they're so lost, but I think that we need to go back to some of the old school, the old ways of doing things that make better people than the things that they see out here every day that are more common than the values that we used to have.
Within our communities can be changed?
I think they can. I'm always hopeful. No matter what. I'm not going to cry. I'm always hopeful.
But you
that
realize
things will change.
But you realize there's a lot of problems.
It's a lot of problems. It's a lot of problems. I wish I had all the answers. I don't have them.
The answers are difficult.
They're very difficult.
Because the problems are difficult.
They're very, very difficult. And I feel sorry for some of the black kids that are growing up now. They don't have fathers. They don't have people that care about them. They don't have people to tell them what's right, what's wrong. They don't have people that will praise them.
Yeah.
And appreciate the little things that they do right instead of always harping on the things that they do are wrong. A child, a dog, anybody you need to appreciate the little steps that they make to get to the bigger steps. And when you don't do that, you deprive, not only do you deprive the child, you deprive yourself. Because how you love an individual, how you grow, you have to learn to communicate, appreciate the small things to get to the big things. You have to learn to love a person for who they are and what they're trying to do.
I know these kids have it rough out here.
It's hell out here. It is hell out here.
And I think that might be one of the reasons why Chicago is such a horrible place.
They're just untold lives that are lost on a daily basis, all because of street swag and belong to this group, and I want this, and you have this, and I don't have this, so I'm going to take this from you. It's not mine, but I'm going to take it. Because nobody at the house, when they grew up, told them that if it's not yours, ask and maybe they'll share it. Or work towards getting it for yourself. You're not taught that. You're taught if you want it, go out and get it, even if it means taking it from somebody else. And that's wrong. But they're not taught that it's wrong. All they know is they want it. There's a way to get it, right or wrong. They're going to get it. And oftentimes, because they have access to the alcohol and the guns in their neighborhood, that's the first thing they're going to get, because they know guns are powerful and they know guns are killing, and they know the police department is not enough for them to stop it. Maybe they don't care to stop it, because what are they saying? All they do is killing blacks and blacks.
Well, even in this room, you all can't see Alex. He's our videographer, cinematographer back behind here. But you're 61.
Yeah, don't push it, baby. I ain't there yet. I'm getting there. Don't push it.
I'll be 47 in a few weeks, and he's
25. Yeah.
There's this huge range of generations here. Everybody, we all experience it differently.
Yeah, we all experience it differently. What I learned and what I grew up with.
For you, do you think it was? Do you think times were better back then? Because I wasn't there.
Well, that depends on your perspective. Here's where it is. It was better back then because families were more close back then, because you had to be. There weren't as many places to go, places that you were allowed to go. There wasn't many things to do because the technology wasn't there. But you learned, we used to have parties. We didn't always have outsiders in our parties. When we had parties, we had all our first and second cousins and things, and those were our parties. They don't do parties like that anymore. Mm-hmm. When you have a party, you go into the club. Yeah. And you're meeting all these other different people, or you're meeting people from work or whatever. You don't always have a party primarily just your family. Were
your families closer back then?
I think they were, because they knew and grew up learning to struggle together, because they had, even if they didn't have fathers and mothers together, as the family, the mother, the matriarch. My mother, I knew I grew up with my mother. My father passed away when I was 6. Mm-hmm. My mother was my mother and my father, and she made a point to make sure we had dinner together. When we did something wrong, she had report cards. She had to report cards when you were having problems. Now, my mother gave what I would call tough love. My mother taught me I didn't have to be a wimp. Just because I'm a girl, that doesn't mean I don't know how to change a tire. Mm-hmm. All the things that most women, even in today's age, they don't know how to do. My mother taught me how to do them, because she didn't want me to be, she didn't want me to have to be dependent on anyone or a man to do something for me. She taught me to be an independent woman, to know things, not just things girls should know, but things that anybody should know, to run a household, how to apply for a job, how to select clothes, all those things that go into making a person, a woman, a man, a man.
Well, you brought up something about independent black women. I have a different feeling about the independent black women.
Oh, my God.
But do you think learning to be an independent black woman might have kind of hurt you in the dating game a little bit?
It has and it hasn't. Okay. It has, because I don't settle for less. My premise is, if you don't have as much or more than me, I'm a woman, and I still believe in the tradition that if you're going to be with a man should learn and know how to take care of a woman. Not saying that we can't be on an equal footing, but as far as being a man to take care of me, that's the first thing. Not saying you have to, but you should be able to if you need to. I'm not saying you have to be rich, or whatever. But you need to be that type of man that knows if you need something, he can provide. Don't come to me with less than me, because I'm the woman. I'm not going to take care of you.
But do you think that you may have become just too independent?
What is too independent?
Relationships require a give and take on both sides.
Yes, they do.
And if you're a very headstrong, independent person, I really don't need you. I got my own over here.
Well, I may be headstrong, which means
I'm asking the question because I don't know.
Which means I need a guy who is as headstrong as me but flexible as me. I'm headstrong, but I'm very flexible.
Okay.
I can deal with someone who may have a little less than me, but you at least need to be trying to get to a better place. Like I'm always trying to get to a better place.
Do you think the structure of the black family has been destroyed by the independent black woman?
Oh no, I don't think it's been destroyed. I think in instances
they don't need a man.
You do need a man for some things. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there are some jars tops that I need for you to screw off for me. Okay, there are some of those things.
I think women. You don't think families need to be intact. That a wife needs a husband to help raise her children.
Well, I think a wife. I think men and women are put together to help grow a family, to help a family to be who they are. I have to balk at saying that there is an absolute must, because I personally feel that my mother raised me and my two older brothers very well, although sometimes I don't think they're worth much, but still they were given the right way. They were raised the right way. They just fell off the edge for some reason. Why, I don't know. But
it could have been because she lost her husband at 6 years of age, and she can only go so far without the man being in the household. I think a man plays a very significant part.
I think it plays a very significant part too, but the only other reason why I say this is because I did have her brothers, which are my uncles.
Okay, so they played a very important part.
I think they played an important role in my uncles and my brothers' lives.
Discipline too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We were raised by the village, as they say. That shit wasn't no joke in my house.
Okay.
Because trust me, you could go up on the store, Mr. Odie on the store, let you steal something or take something or be loud or ugly or whatever. Mr. Odie knew my grandmother's number. And when my grandmother got a hold of it, she definitely would tell my mother. I remember a time, just to make it short, when my brother and a kid down the street, they got on a little rampage and they went to the neighbors' houses and they took the tomatoes and threw them in the dishwater and messed with their refrigerator and everything. My mother heard about it first. My grandmother heard about it first, and then my mother. When I tell you, have you ever seen beatings? When I say a beating, my grandmother got their ass first, and then my mother got their ass again. And trust me, they didn't do anything like that at all anymore. So yes, I think independent women are valuable. I'm valuable, and depending upon that, not only on that independence that she has, but the type of woman she is, or the kids that they have, there's always room in both situations for a family that need a woman in the house as a mother, and you need a man. I mean, let's face it, there's men can teach men better how to be men, to me.
I agree.
And women, of course, can teach women better how to be women, although I've seen some excellent fathers. I've seen some videos of fathers that are just splendid, mothers with sons that are splendid. But by the same token, I think things were better back in my day because the family was more of a unit and we weren't just going here, and there. And technology has separated family. Now kids wanted to go and each one got a tablet or a phone or something in their room, and they're all in their room to themselves. They don't play games. We used to play games in our house together.
Gotcha.
All those kind of things.
Oh yeah, we used to. I remember growing up playing those games and everything. Now is I don't have any children now, so but I know they don't do that type of stuff anymore.
No, they don't play together. All they do is separate themselves into their own little tablets, their own little phones, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
But if you want the black family to change and you want the black family structure to change, we do have to begin looking at going back to when,
yes, we do.
Like Make America Great Again, when black men and women were married and had children in the household. I think things were. I
really think things were better. I really think things were better. Right. But listen, we're gonna wrap it up one more time. We may have some more videos coming at you soon, and we thank you for listening. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
All right, we're out of here.
We're out.